started for today. Did everybody get the attendance for this week? Yes. Okay, great. Just let me know if there's something wrong with the attendance online. And I will fix that and we can talk about it. We made this progress board, and this has each assignment that is part of your business plan. I've noticed that none of you have uploaded any of the assignments to your Dropbox account yet, so the ones that you have done, if you could do that this week, that way we know what your team's progress is, and then we'll check them off as we go. So just be looking at your schedule for the due dates for all of that. We are planning on having college mentors here at the end of the month, so if you have most of your plan done, by that time they can help you revise that, and that would be easier, more helpful and beneficial for you if instead of you just having like one or two components done. So just something to think about. And if you have any questions about assignments or due dates or anything like that, just let me know. I think I'm going to head to the back now.
So Caitlin gave a refresher of the sheet, the schedule that's in the page protector. All the due dates are listed out. It doesn't affect your eligibility for the program, but that way we can see what your progress is and keep in touch with you. Should you have questions, you can reference materials we already have in hand. So I'm going to run through just really quickly, again, our website, grantcounty.com. You go to YEP of GC, scroll down. Go to the resources page, and that's where we're posting the attendance page, so you can keep track of your eligibility, any absences that you have, the makeups. We also have instructions for how to use the Dropbox account. So if you have any questions on how that works, I understand that Ms. Sinowal uses Google Drive. Worst case scenario, just email Caitlin a link to your Google Drive account. But since you probably have already been to the resources page every single week, checking the videos, the PowerPoints, the handouts, the worksheets, that's not new news for you. But what might be new is at the very top of the nav bar of the website is Working Here. Under Working Here, can you read this? Maybe not. This is the top of the website. Under Working Here is a link for Tools for Business. So the Tools for Business is a partnership that the Growth Council has with a statewide organization that equips entrepreneurs with resources. This is real data that you can pull from for your business plan. Any question that you have, you could probably just search it, and there's probably already been research done on it. So this might be a good resource. It's already on our website. You've been given resources from a few other speakers for works that you can cite in your business plan. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and introduce Whitney Pyle, and she is the VP of Advanced Cabinet Systems, and she will be discussing and imparting her wisdom to you about management. So thank you, Whitney.
Hey you guys, I am Whitney Pyle. Like they said, I'm the Vice President at J.G. Bowers and Advanced Cabinet Systems. I dropped my pencil that I really need. I am going to talk about management and all that fun part of the business plan, but I will warn you right now, this is going to be incredibly interactive. So pay attention, because I'm going to call your name and I'm going to ask you questions, and I'm going to make sure that you're participating. And the first thing that I'm going to do is go around the room and ask you guys to introduce yourselves to me and your business if you already have one. And if you don't, then I want you to talk about how you're planning on figuring that out. And then we're going to talk about a few more things, and then I'm going to quickly run through these slides that are probably really awesome, okay? So we're going to start here with Team 8, and I can't read anything on there even though I have on my glasses. So you guys are going to have to tell me who you are, where you're from, and what your business is about. I'm going to guess Marion because I see your sweatshirt. Am I right? So great. See, I'm not terrible at this. All right, so you're Team 8. And what's your name?
My name is James Booth.
Okay. And what's your name?
I'm actually part of Team 9.
Great. Well, I'm glad to see you guys working together. That's pretty great. What is your business? Do you have one yet?
We're trying to create a entertainment center of some sort for people of all ages, ranging from toddlers to adolescents to partygoers to senior citizens.
Wow, that's a lofty goal, but I like it. All right. Does it have a name?
One for all.
One for all. Well, that's a great name. Kind of makes a lot of sense. All right. How about you, Team 9?
We're doing errand service.
Okay, like running errands for people like busy working moms?
Yep. Or elderly people who can't go out of the house or don't want to. Different reasons.
Okay, so for people who are not social. Just kidding. All right, I can't see back there. I think it says Team 7. I know I have my glasses on, but they're really just for looks, I guess, because they don't work that well. So, are you both Team 7? And where are you from?
Marion.
Okay. And what's your business?
It's a recording studio.
Okay.
Takes in new artists from the community, and we help sell their music to the nation.
Great. And what's your names?
I'm Elijah.
I didn't hear you, hon. Sorry. Monica. Okay. Team 6, right? I can see it, sorta, not really. Okay, what are all your names and what's your business?
I'm Mark.
I'm Julia.
I can't hear you.
Noah.
Noah. Okay. And your business?
MMC Technology Consulting.
Okay. And can you explain a little bit about that to me?
Really, we do personal and business consulting support. All of that even go into sales.
Okay, so you do, I'm sorry, you said personal and business consulting regarding sales?
Support.
Okay.
And sales.
Support and sales. Oh, maybe I can use you at my office. All right. Now, I don't know how many of you guys know this gentleman sitting at this table. Do any of you know this gentleman here? No? This is John Trout, and he's superintendent at Madison Grant High School. So, Madison Grant School System. And I'm very excited you're here. Thank you so much for coming. We're hoping to start this program there as well. So, because have even more teams to work with next year. And are you part of Team 5?
Yes.
Yes, okay. What's your name?
Nicolette,
And your business?
Aqualife.
Aqualife?
Yes.
And what's Aqualife going to do?
It's a 100% plant-based biodegradable water bottle company.
Okay. I'm excited about that. All right. How about Team No Way? 1? Okay, great. What's your all's names and what's your business?
Brock.
Brock and who? Okay. And you're from Madison Grant? No. Miss Sinawa? Okay. And what's your business?
Basically safety and fire alarms, security cameras and stuff like that.
Okay. You guys are messing with me, aren't ya? Okay, Team 2.
Yeah, I'm Cheyenne Shelby. I'm Alexis.
Okay.
And we have our business is called New Strides, and we're a physical therapy clinic that specializes in orthotics and prosthetics.
That's awesome. Thank you. You're helping out the old lady you can't see, huh? All right, your names are Taylor and Amy, is that right?
Just
No?
Just
Oh, at the top, yeah, I see it now. Okay, so you're Jessica and you're Taylor? Okay. And what's your business?
our business is an app that promotes advertising and fundraising.
Okay. All right, so you're probably thinking, why do I need to know that and why do I? Oh, sorry about that. Team 4. We already met, didn't we? Sort of. In the hallway?
yes.
Yes. You are, sorry, I can't see. Melvin, okay. Nice to meet you. And what's your business?
We're thinking about doing a hotel.
Okay.
We got it already started out. It's going to be called Green Suites.
It's called what? I'm sorry?
Green Suites.
Green Suites.
Yeah, it's spelled like in a suite room.
Okay.
And that's about as far as I've been able to.
And are you from Mississinawa or? Okay. I didn't ask you guys.
Also from Mississippi.
Okay. Is this so it's like a divided room? This side is Mississinawa, this side is Marion? Oh, we gotta mix up these tables next time. All right. Well, thank you all so much for answering my questions. Now that I have all your names, I can, oh, look, new people. New people on team 5. Oh, now wait, you're in the middle of the room. So are you Marion or are you Mississinawa?
Mississinawa.
Okay, great. What's your name?
My name's Brandon.
Okay.
I'm Olivia.
All right, well, it's nice to meet you too. So anyway, so I wrote all your names down so I could pick on you while I'm talking about management. Not really, that's not why I wrote them down. But it does help me to hopefully keep you guys somewhat engaged. One thing that I want to talk about just really quickly, I know Allison, wherever she went, we talked about this. How many of you have actually completed some of this but just not uploaded your documents yet? Oh, good, 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 good. You guys aren't raising your hands. You the slackers in the group? I'm just kidding. Have you completed some of this but just not uploaded your documents yet? Yeah? Okay, good, good, good. That's good. I was a little nervous about that. So you might ask yourself why a person in the community who doesn't have any kids in this school would take time and come here and talk to you guys about this. And I want to share with you why I'm here and why this is important to me. First of all, I'm super proud of all you guys in this room. Like, I know you don't know me, and I know that you don't know my kids or any of that stuff, but I participated in a program in my high school. I was lucky enough to grow up in an area that took business and prepping high school students for the business world very, very seriously. And so I grew up in my whole senior year of high school. I went to school 3 hours a day and I worked 5 hours a day. And my first job after I graduated from high school was I went to college and I got this job, and it was a very professional work environment. It was very quiet. I had to learn a lot about being a professional quickly, but the classes that I took and the experiences that I got in my high school really, really helped me with that. When all of my friends who lived on my floor at school were struggling and had to figure out how many times they could actually eat before their meal card ran out while they were in college, I didn't. I was getting a paycheck every single week, and I was working at a place on my college campus that paid me way back in 1995, to tell you how old I am. Probably you guys weren't born then, right? Maybe. When was this group born? What's your birthday?
I'm 96.
Yeah, so when you guys weren't even born yet, I was in college earning my first paycheck, clear back then, at $11 an hour. $11 an hour. How many of you guys work at all now? Do you earn $11 an hour? No. Okay, anybody else? Do you guys earn $11 an hour? Sometimes? Well, that's good. That's
another job.
But I mean, it's 20 years later, right? So you should earn $11 an hour. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so I went to college and I had this first job, and all my friends were kind of struggling, but not me. I worked 30 hours a week, and I worked right on campus, not too far from my dorm. And I decided at that point, I'm like, wow, this really served me well. And so I am very passionate about helping younger people in high school get a foot on that ladder, so when you get to college, you already have some experience under your belt that's going to help you start earning a living. Without that living that I was earning while I was in college, I don't know sometimes where I would have gotten a next meal or whatever. I didn't have very affluent parents who could, send me to college with a credit card or anything like that. So as much as they tried and helped me, I was very dependent on me, and that's something that still to this day I take a lot of pride in. And I know that you guys wouldn't be here if you didn't care about your futures, and you really should be commended for that. So congratulations on your participation in this program. I will also tell you that I do have my own 17-year-old son, and he does not take advantage of opportunities like this. He lives in Kentucky and goes to a school there with his dad, and he kind of refuses. So I know how hard it is, as you know, for parents and your teachers to get you guys involved. So being here and really putting forth an effort speaks volumes, and I'm glad that you guys are doing that. So I'm going to talk to you about management with all that other stuff said, and so you know where my priorities really are with you. Also, everybody here in this program knows how to get in touch with me. If you ever have a question that you want answered about general business, management, anything like that, feel free to get into contact with them. See me before I leave today. I'd be glad to give you a card, and we'll talk about it, okay? Because I'll be glad to help you. All right. So I'm here to talk about management and operations, how your business is structured. This is going to be a very important part of your business plan, and it's going to be a very important part of your business when you get started. So a lot of people think that management is like this cartoon. I'm not going to read it to you because you guys can all read, right? How many of you really think that management is like that? No, nobody really thinks it's like that? Okay, good. It's not just about getting to tell people what to do. I do tell people what to do all the time. And that's probably the least fun part of my job. The most fun part of my job is people who come into our organization and understand the expectations up front, and they just do their job, and I get to tell them every day how great of a job they do. That's definitely the most fun part of my job. And if you guys are really interested in starting a business and running a successful business, you're going to surround yourself with people, teammates, who make it very easy for you to not ever have to tell them what to do. All right, so management's the process of planning and organizing, directing, controlling resources. Accountability, I'm going to talk a lot about accountability, to achieve your specific goals. Okay. We're also going to talk about planning, organizing, directing, and controlling. We're going to break those down just a little bit. I do this often. I just walk around my office and tell people very obvious things that no, I don't do that. Okay, if we did this all day, nothing would ever get done, right? You can't just walk around your office telling people to do and making observations that anyone, Captain Obvious, would notice. You really do have to plan your work. Okay, you have to direct the people under you, you have to organize things, and again, I'm going to go back to the personal accountability, or to the accountability, and I'm going to tell you that personal accountability is the most important thing for me in my job all the time. I make mistakes often. I had a baby 6 months ago, and since I had that baby, I have been late to work probably twice, maybe 3 times. I have forgotten things. I have told people the wrong thing. I've been all over the map, and that's not normal behavior for me. In the last 5 years, the organization that I've been in, it's very abnormal for me to do those things. So in that 5 years before I had this new baby, I showed up to work every single day on time, and I made very few mistakes, and I'm proud of that. What that has bought me is that now, the past several months that I've been kind of all over the map and not my normal self, people say all the time, there's just some things going on with her right now, and we're going to give her a break because we know that she's going through some things right now with the baby and all that stuff. But had I not spent 5 years laying the groundwork of being very accountable for all of my actions, doing the right job every day, doing it well, I would not have a pass. How many of you guys show up to a class every single day and you do a really good job, and maybe once something happens where you miss an assignment or you just really mess something up really bad in class? You guys have that experience? Oh yeah, almost everybody. Okay, so if you show up to class every day and you're doing what you're supposed to do, how many of your teachers will come to you and say, hey, I noticed you didn't turn in this assignment, what's going on? A lot of them? Because it's not, no, none of them? Like, they don't care. I would venture to say that if you show up every day and you're doing what you're supposed to, and then all of a sudden you have like this fluke problem where you mess something up, then that teacher is going to come to you and they're going to say, hey, you missed this, you didn't do that, and it's not your normal behavior. It's not like do you need some help? Is something going on? It's the same thing at work. So if you guys are doing those things now and you're already showing up and you're taking personal responsibility and being accountable, then you're more than halfway there. So that's just something to keep in mind going forward. How does this relate to what you're going to be doing later on in your life? This is how it relates. So I want to talk to Team 9 about your errand service. Okay? If you want to talk about how management and planning your business and all of the people who work for you and organizing things is going to relate, how's that going to relate to your errand business? You're going to have to really be organized, right? You're really going to have to plan, right? How about the people that work for you, who you're going to send out to do these errands for people? What kind of people are you going to have to hire?
Reliable people.
Reliable people. What else?
People who will actually be on time on the errands. That as soon as someone calls in for a need for something, they would have to be able to immediately go and get it as soon as possible.
Okay, very good. So do you, in your mind, when you're thinking about your business, are you already thinking about what kind of people, what the skills they need, you know, what kind of people you're going to hire?
Sort of. We're planning starting small. The easiest way would start with ourselves.
You guys do the work?
Create the business and get customers, and then to expand into actually hiring more drivers and people like that.
Okay. Let me ask one more question as far as teams go. How about the technology company, Team 6? All right. How do you think running your business, how do you think all this fits into that? What kind of people do you think you need to hire? What kind of job duties do you think they need to have?
They definitely have to be trustworthy and reliable and honest, because you don't want to, when you're dealing with expensive technology, you can't have someone stealing from you.
That's right. That's very right. Now, obviously, if you guys are your core team and this is your business you're building, you're going to be running this business, right? How do you feel about your teammates?
I was worried at first, but I think they'll pull through.
Okay, good. Good. It's important too. It's very important. Okay, good, good. One thing that I'm going to talk about, it comes a little bit later in this, we're going to talk about setting goals and measuring things, and I know we'll come back to you guys on that. Okay, so what makes a good manager? We were just talking about that with Team 9 and with Team 6. We talked about what's going to make good managers in your company, what's going to make good employees. We talked about it with you guys. Can you think of things that maybe aren't going to be on your slides, they're not going to be on your list of stuff to talk about? What are intangible things that maybe aren't written down that are going to be important for your own businesses? Those are things that you've got to be thinking about. So does anybody else have something that maybe isn't just already up there on a slide that you're thinking about? Yes? Positive, good attitude, right. Anybody else have anything? How about you? No?
Intellectual ability.
They have to be smart, yeah?
Somewhat. I mean, they can't be just high school dropouts that are looking for the next paycheck.
We're going to get to that in a minute too. Awesome. You guys are good. You guys are much more interactive than last year's group. Okay, so I think one of the things that makes the best kind of manager you can have is personal accountability. And I alluded to it just a few minutes ago when I said for the past few months since I had this baby, I'm an airhead. I do make mistakes every day, do stuff wrong all the time. I'm so not proud of that. I was proud of, you know, when I go show up at work every single day and I'm there and I'm working hard and I'm doing a lot of things right, and yes, did I make mistakes back then? Sure, but not nearly as many as I do now. So, who do you think the first person is if a mistake gets made to point it out to me? My boss? Nope. Anybody have a better idea? Yes, it's me. You're pretty awesome. You should trust her. She's good. So yeah, it's me. It's me. I'm standing up here confessing to, you know, a group of really awesome high schoolers who care about their future that, man, I have made so many mistakes lately and it stinks and I'm kind of embarrassed about it, but I'm going to own it. And all I can do is try to get things in better order and be more organized and take responsibility for those things. So the fact that I spent that time in my life building a rapport with all my coworkers who know that I work hard and know that I care kind of gives me a little bit of a pass, but they know I'm not giving me a pass. So I think that's the single most important thing you guys can remember as people who want to start your own business is one day when you are managing your own companies, or if you go and you work somewhere else and you're managing other employees, be personally accountable. Take personal responsibility in everything that you do. You're not always going to get a pass. There, you know, I could go to work tomorrow and they say, oh, you made a really big mistake and we just can't deal with your mistakes anymore, and then I'm not going to have a job. And that would really be awful, but whose fault would that be? It would be my fault. Yeah, and I would live with that. So it would not be fun, and my husband and my family would be real mad at me, but it's mine and I own it. So I'm going to keep working really, really hard to not do that anymore. All right, so we're going to talk about writing your management plan. Where do you need to start? You want to create a list of measurable objectives. When we talked just a minute ago, and I said we're going to talk about measuring things, what are measurable objectives? Team 1, how about for your business? What would you consider to be a measurable objective for whether or not your business is doing what you want it to do, if it's performing well, if people are doing what they're supposed to do? Any ideas? I said team 1. Oh, did you ask what the question was? The question was, what kind of a measurable thing do you have, like, to tell that your business is doing well? What are you going to measure? What are you going to look at and say, like, I'm doing this well or I'm not doing this well?
How well our products are selling, or just how our company's working, you know, pretty good.
Okay. How do you think you'll measure that? With what?
Financial capital.
Okay, yeah. So if you're making money, then you probably are doing okay, right? And you're going to check that pretty often. Who else is going to measure their company performance based on money? You guys are good. Maybe? Yeah? Yeah? Maybe? Man, money becomes really, really important when you're my age, I promise. You're going to want to think about that. All right, you're also going to do all the other things on this list when you're talking about writing your management plan. You need to organize your objectives. So the objectives in your business that you're going to measure, those things, you're going to organize those, okay? You're going to make tasks, because if your objective is make money, you can't just write that down on a piece of paper and say, voila, that's what we're going to do. You have to make a plan to get there. So you're going to have to assign tasks. How are we going to make money? What are we going to do to ensure that we are making money? I'm going to sell X number of whatever it is a week, or I'm going to hire a salesperson. I'm going to judge the salesperson on what they're doing. So you have to think about those things as they relate to your business. Might be a good time for me to pick on Team 3. Sound good? Mm-hmm. Are you selling your app, or is it going to be a free app? It's a free app. It's a free app. And how's it going to work? Are you going to, someone's going to pay to advertise on your app? Okay.
We agreed on, say we'll advertise McDonald's or local places like Case Pizza.
Okay.
And
I love their Strombolis, by the way. So good.
It's a good service.
It is.
Yeah, we'll advertise for them, and if they have any charities, we'll advertise more. So we kind of promote philanthropy.
Okay. I'm following you. Anything else?
We haven't really decided the rest.
Okay. Still in the planning stages. Then let me pick on Team 4 a little bit now. All right, how are you going to know that your company is becoming successful?
When I start realizing guess they have like social networks where you can have people coming to you telling you that your business is succeeding, especially in something like a hotel. You might hear about, you know, somebody talking to somebody about coming to stay there. It's a lot better than the other competition.
Okay.
When I see that more customers are coming to stay, and that businesses are more interested in having their people come in to stay there, then I really feel like we're a success there.
Okay.
Instead of falling under.
Great. So how many of you guys could hear him? Okay, you could all hear him. So basically, occupancy in your hotel is going to be how you measure success. What steps are you going to have to take in your business to get to the level of occupancy that you want in your hotel?
No, that's still in the planning stages there.
Okay, still in the planning stages. Well, I guess it's a good thing we're talking about this. So you're going to want to organize your objectives into tasks. You're going to want to have those tasks lists. You're going to want to make sure that you have people assigned to them who you trust, who you can depend on to get that work done. Okay? So do you guys see a common theme in management? Plan? What else? Do you want to work with people that you don't trust or not organized or can't count on? No, you don't. So you're going to want to make sure that when you're talking about your plan, you're hiring the right people and you're putting the right people in the right positions. Okay? All right. You're going to determine all of these things, how your objectives are going to be met. Again, with the measuring of the results, you have to be thinking about that the whole time. And what's that bottom line say? Somebody read it out loud. Okay, that's right. Good. That's good. How many of you want to work with people that you have to hold them accountable every day? Nobody wants to work with those kind of people. So you want to hire people and have people on your team who hold themselves accountable, okay? Make sure they're not like me and make mistakes every day, because that's not good. All right, so parts of a management plan, we're going to continue on with this. Ownership structure, internal management team, external management team, HR. How many of you guys have gotten any of your business plan, your management part of it done yet? A little bit? A little bit? Everybody has kind of a little bit? Okay. Are all of these key elements part of your management plan, or are you going to have to go back and do some major revisions? I see Team 7 over there. They're like, oh boy, don't ask us. That's a surefire way to get a question directed at you. This is where you have such a great resource and people who are going to help you out. If you have questions, go to the website like Allison was telling you about. Ask questions. You can have my phone number if you want. Call me. I'll help you through it. It's fine. Okay? Just don't stress about it, but keep in mind these are key elements and they're important to have that in your plan, okay? All right. Levels of management. You guys can read these slides and you understand how many of your businesses are going to be too small to have all these levels of management? Too small. Okay. Anybody else?
Go big or go home.
Oh, so you're going to be huge. Like, is Facebook still cool? Can anyone tell me? No, it's not cool anymore. What, Instagram?
Yeah.
Wait, it's owned by Facebook. That can't be cool if it's owned by Facebook, and Facebook's not cool, right? All right. So if you're going to have a big technology company, big computer company, you're going to hope that you need these levels of management because you're going to hope it's big and huge.
Exactly.
But maybe it's not going to be. Maybe it's going to be really small. What I can tell you is the organization that I work in has 70 people, about 70 people. And we have 4 people who pretty much run the company. So 4 people pretty much do all of the major decision making. And that core team consists of a president, who's not me, a vice president, who is me, a CFO or controller who takes care of all of our money, and then an operations, like overall operations manager type person. And then there are how many other people? If that's 4 and we have 70 people? 66. I wasn't good at math. That is not true. I was a math major. Yes, 66 other people who are all day long working to complete tasks and do work and get everything in line that we decide we need done every day. So if we didn't know what we wanted to do every day and we didn't work very well together as a team, How much do you think would get done? Probably not very much. Our company's been in business 35 years, so I think we're doing okay. We survived 2008, and a lot of our competition didn't, so I think we're doing okay. I can't stress to you enough the importance of surrounding yourself with the right amount of people and the right people. So if you have a company who has, I'm gonna throw out numbers here. They don't have to be your numbers. But say your overall generated revenue is $100,000 a year. Can you afford to have 3 people on your staff that all make $30,000 a year? No. I mean, you could, but you're not gonna buy anything. It's just gonna be really, 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 really hard. So you're gonna have to make sure that your revenues match what you're actually doing, the people that you have, and all those sorts of things are things that you're going to be talking about. And when you're talking about your management plan and developing what kind of company structure you're going to have, okay? All right, so we're moving on just a little bit. We kind of already talked about this. You're going to want to make sure that every single person who works in your organization understands their role and their responsibilities, and that they are accountable, okay? All right, external resources. I wish I could, I'm gonna hide this slide really quick, and we're gonna go back to it in a minute. External resources, without the slide up there, can you guys tell me what an external resource is? Anybody know? How about somebody from...
We got Team 4 over here.
Oh, you do? Okay, great. Thank you. I should stand back there.
A resource you should obtain from outside of business.
Okay, and what might that resource do?
Maybe give loans to help put the building together.
Okay, what else might that resource do?
That's about all I can in my mind.
Okay, anybody else have an idea of what external resource might be? No? Nobody? Okay, how about in my office we have one person. Did you raise your hand? Did someone over there?
I had a thought maybe.
Okay.
Like typically with like HR representatives, I would think to consider them maybe as an external resource in the sense that they don't operate in the building or the company on an everyday basis within your employees, that they come in when there's like a conflict or a problem.
Okay, you're kind of on the right track. Kind of on the right track. Our company does have an internal HR resource that deals with that kind of stuff every single day. Some companies don't, and that's great that you brought that up. But what you said, the last part of that, somebody who comes in who doesn't work there all the time, but comes in to help. So we have a controller, CFO, full-time, who works at our office. But do you know what she isn't allowed to do? And it is a woman, yay for the girl team. Do you know what she's not allowed to do? Anybody have any idea? A control, what?
Sign her own paycheck.
Well, you're right, she can't, but I sign all those, so it's a good thing I'm not her. She cannot reconcile our books at the end of the year. She's not allowed to do that. She's not allowed to do our taxes, even though she's a CPA, and she's not allowed to reconcile our books. Anybody know why that might be? I don't think it's illegal. It might be, but I don't think so. Anybody else know why? Yes.
To keep her accountable.
Yes, very good. You guys are so smart. I love it. Okay, so yes, external resources, professional services, an advisory board. Those are going to be key, especially if you have a small business that maybe starts out really small, but then starts to grow over time. It's going to be key for you to have somebody outside of your organization that you can rely on occasionally, that you're not paying full time for, but can help you when you need it. Somebody to do your taxes, per se. Okay? So that's something that you need to think about. And then internal management, how are you going to hire people? How are you going to train them? How are you going to pay them? All those things are things that you need to be thinking about. Okay? All right. How to present you and your employees' skills. So you're going to, as part of your business plan, you're going to have this management section. Thank you. You're going to need to include resumes. You're going to need to include their skill set, and all of those things have to be part of that in your plan. So again, you want to be thinking about what those people are going to be doing, how they're going to do it, and you want to make sure that you have the right people for the jobs. Okay? Questions about that? No questions about that part? Okay. How many of you can leave this room right this second and write your management plan? Nobody. How many of you can go, maybe? Well, that's good. Then I wasn't terrible. How many of you can use the resources that Allison has provided to you and the resources that you have available on the website and get your plans completed? Everybody. Of course you can, because you guys are so smart. All right. Do you guys have questions for me? Do you have questions for me? No. Yes. Anyone else? Well, again, I just want to tell you guys, I'm proud of you. It's great that you're here. It's great that you're working on your futures. So if you have any questions or I can be a resource for you in any way, please don't hesitate to ask. Okay?
Progress board. Come up with an idea. The first team to have all the components due thus far by uploaded to their Dropbox by Monday of next week will get a prize. So the little competition to see if you guys are on track. But that doesn't mean like typing management plan on a title of a document and submitting that. So it has to actually be a rough draft of each component, so no cheating there. So whoever has from our business description up to management plan by Monday of next week first will get a small prize. So kind of initiative to get stuff uploaded. And then can I just see a couple people before everybody takes off here? Can I see Brock, Emerald, James, Luke, and Noah? Okay. All right, the rest of you, we'll see you next week at Marion.